Hey YouTubers, and welcome to 2017. Now, obviously, 2016 was a huge year for Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball fandom in general. But this video, I am once again joined by MJ from Geekless TV. MJ, why don't you say hello?
Hello.
Every fucking time, man. Oh my god. And also, Dimzy from Dimzy's Domain. Dimzy, why don't you say hello?
Hey.
There's two different wavelengths going on, or at least three. I don't know. Maybe Dimzy's more on my level than on MJ's.
Double D, man. He's got a voice only the angels can love, like Vados.
We send Vados, yes.
Well, you don't want Wiz love in your voice, Vados, though. You want her love in your voice.
I guess.
Obviously, guys, 2016 was a really, really big year for Dragon Ball. Probably bigger than 2015 was when we got the movie and the new series and the new game and all that other stuff. We got a lot of stuff from this past year. And I just want to actually sit down and I want to talk about what you and we have come up with 10 things that we want as fans. This is kind of out of universe stuff, not dealing with the show as we usually talk about or the storyline of the show, just 10 things we want as fans of the series going forward and stuff we want from this year that would make this probably the biggest and coolest Dragon Ball year ever. And please make sure to, share your thoughts in the comment section below, what y'all want from this out of universe stuff, anything you want, but please make sure to listen to this entire video because we're going to cover stuff that you're probably thinking about in general. But first off, guys, I know it's been probably the thing that brought Dragon Ball back in a very big way in the US. We had Dragon Ball Xenoverse that came out and just completely annihilated the game market. It's sold like 3,000 copies. The sequel did really well as well. I want Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 announcement at the very end of this year. What do you guys think? Do you think that would be cool? Do you think it's too close to Xenoverse 2? What are y'all thoughts on that?
Personally, I do think it's going to be a bit too close. But then again, I'm not really much of a gamer myself, but I do think it is far too early for that to be announced. However, if it is announced at the tail end of 2017, or let's say, at the tail end of 2017, I guess that'll be fine. And it would really, once again, reinvigorate the fandom, because as we saw with Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, people went mental. People went absolutely berserk. Rhymes was salivating in the corner. Everyone was just going crazy. And Xenoverse 3, once again, will bring back that mentality, bring back the whole love for Dragon Ball, and try to, as fans, push it into the wider medium of gaming and try to make it the best game possible. So it's really nice when this happens, when announcements like that happen, where the feedback of the fans really does have an effect. We can all get together and try and make a better product, a better universe, a better presence for Dragon Ball on Earth, on Universe 1.
What about you, MJ?
I agree with Dimzy. I think it's a bit close, but maybe if we get the announcement towards the end of the year, maybe that will be a bit better. Overall, though, even if it is announced soon, why not? Xenoverse 2 was pretty good, so I think a lot of people can agree that it was pretty good. Every game, it had a few bugs, at launch date. Everything is still getting sorted out now, but, Xenoverse 2, really good game. Xenoverse 3, I would say Xenoverse 3 could probably even just be the same and just have a lot more characters, kind of just be the same mechanics and just expand on the lore and have more movie characters, because obviously in the game of Xenoverse 2, a lot of characters were missing, like Buhan and stuff, so you bring that into Xenoverse 3, and I'm fine with it getting announced. I do think it's a bit too close, but if it happens more towards the end of the year, I think I'd be fine with it, and I would be hyped for it, so yeah.
Okay, guys, Next on the list, something, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw me tweeting about this on Christmas Day or whatever.
Nobody follows you on Twitter.
I know, nobody follows
just kidding.
Me on Twitter, but
just kidding.
I was just saying, all I want for Christmas is Dragon Ball Super on Blu-ray and DVD, and all I want for it is just be awesome to have the English, the Japanese dub, just watch it at my own leisure, legally, actually be able to purchase it instead of streaming. I just have my own little concept when it comes to streaming. I definitely prefer to purchase and have it tangibly in my hand, where certain things just won't either get canceled or taken off or deleted on accident and anything. I don't like digital. I'm old-fashioned in that way. But Dragon Ball Super on Blu-ray. Now we know this is definitely going to be happening this year because, as we know, this Saturday we get our official Dragon Ball Super dub on Toonami, and that's just, oh my god, that's just so exciting. If not just because, not because I'm excited for the dub so much, I've kind of grown past it, but just the fact that we are one step closer to getting this amazing show, or amazing with asterisks. I have my own thoughts and opinions about this stuff that I've shared frequently, but still, guys, we're gonna get Dragon Ball Super on Blu-ray and DVD this year. Are y'all excited? Are you gonna buy it? Is this something you've been looking forward to? What are your thoughts and opinions?
Who goes first?
Dimzy.
Once again.
Well, I like how I asked to go first, and he told Dimzy to go.
That's what you do. You just jump in.
Yeah. I say, look, I'm really excited for it to be announced on Blu-ray. There's not really much you could say regarding the fact that, I just want to purchase it. I want it in my hand. I want it under my bed. I want to just chuck it away and say, hey, look, that's my little Dragon Ball right there.
Under your bed.
Chuck it. That's my little collection pile right there. And with that, I'll feel like, yes, now I'm a Dragon Ball Super fan officially. But of course, owning and purchasing and having the physical copy doesn't really qualify me as a fan. My qualification of a fan is just me talking to all of you lot.
MJ, what about you, man?
I disagree with you wholeheartedly on the streaming stuff. You know why?
I
carry my laptop around with me all the time, and I love having the streaming available. I love having Hulu there, Amazon Prime. I love Netflix. Shiny just came out on the Netflix yesterday, and I watched that shit. I just love having streaming available, but there is something cool about just having that hardcover and just rubbing it and putting it against your stomach, and rubbing it on you. I love having that hardcover, so it would be cool to have Dragon Ball Super Blu-ray, have it in my hand, have the English, have the Japanese, have it any way I want to watch it. I would just love that, you know what I mean? So, and plus, I would add it to my collection because I do have a Dragon Ball film DVD Blu-ray collection, so I would love to have it there and just to own it. Like I said, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I just love holding it. It's almost like even though I do enjoy reading manga on the internet, I do like holding it. I just like to hold shit, Like,
and
I don't know where I'm getting at with this, but I just love the whole stuff.
Like I understand.
That's me.
Before we move on, I have to say, like, that's one of the reasons I like it too. Is just there's some security in actually owning something that you want to own instead of it being kind of in the ether, up in the cloud or something. And I feel like
that's very old fashioned, though.
It's very old fashioned, and I just say, like, if I'm old fashioned about anything, that's it. Like, that's the thing is. I want to own, if I have a collection of anything, it's movies and TV shows, and that's my one thing. Like, I have to own it. I have to be able to look at it and appreciate the sight of it. It's like my own little library of, you come over to my place and you see all this stuff, and it kind of paints the picture of who I am, my personality, and what I like artistically, and I just think that that's something that I really want. And Dragon Ball Super, I need that in order to complete that collection. I got Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT in the movies and stuff, and I just need that. So
I agree with you, because this is Super, and you can say whatever the hell you want about Super. I'm still going to own Super because it's Dragon Ball, the same way people say what they want about GT. I don't care. I still own GT. So there you go.
Yeah. Going forward, we're going to go back to another game, and it's not something I play that much anymore, but I know a lot of people are really excited about it, and I feel like one thing we need in Dragon Ball as a fandom going forward is we need Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle, the global version, to catch up at least 1 month. Dimzy will say 2 weeks, but at least 1 month away, or kind of a lag between what's going on in the Japanese Dokkan and what's going on in the global Dokkan, because I think a lot of people have their thoughts and opinions about how far behind global has become, especially this year, and how much that game has blown up. And I think for a fandom, for on the go Dragon Ball, playing, not just watching the show, but just being able to play a game, collect the cards, have the thrill and everything about that, they want to be able to experience and pleasure the game in their own native language and not have to navigate the game in the Japanese form. And I think that would really help not only Dokkan itself, but also just anyone who wants to play mobile games in general who like Dragon Ball.
I should jump in right here because I know MJ is going to want me to go first. But as an avid player, and I play.
I hate
Dokkan
you so
quite
much.
a bit. I play Dokkan. I hate it. I absolutely despise it, but I do play it. I tried to play the Japanese version, but unfortunately, it wasn't for me, and I just didn't like going to the internet and translating every piece of text which I didn't understand. It just was time consuming on my part. Now, if I were to have global Dokkan Battle, yes, pronouncing it like that makes everything easier. But if it were to come closer so that it's only 2 weeks away, it would just make life easier, and it's just nice. And once again, another way to unite the community, as we see in Dokkan, especially for Japan. We see that the events that are coming out are mirroring what are happening in the anime, and they're, eventually becoming shorter and shorter periods. Look, the Merge Zamasu event is only a few weeks after the Merge Zamasu fight ended, and this was kind of inconceivable when it initially came out, as it took so long for them to go to the other prior events. So now, hopefully, if they were to catch up, it would be quite nice, and with the super dub coming out as well, it would allow everyone to kind of enjoy Dragon Ball through a anime format as well as a game format. So that would be quite nice.
Mm-hmm. What about you, MJ?
I've never played Dokkan before. I don't even know what the hell you guys are talking about.
Okay, whatever. God. Okay, we're gonna move on.
Damn it, MJ.
Maybe MJ, you get to go next on this one just before. But okay, one of the things we got in the very end of Dragon Ball. One of the things we got at the very end of 2016 was kind of the very first foray into the Dragon Room that Shueisha has awesomely given us, and going to expand the Dragon Ball mythos, or just kind of give us something a little that we haven't actually seen, just kind of expand the whole brand. And one of the things was we got that Yamcha official 3-part Yamcha spinoff, where it was
which
kind
was
of a
fucking amazing
scenario, which is really cool. And honestly, I love that idea. In fact, I love that idea so much, we're going to do a video later about 10 what-if scenarios that we really like to see actually canonized or put in there in some way for the extended universe, but that's a video for another time. MJ, what are your thoughts on that? Do we deserve more of that?
Hell yeah, we deserve more of that. What are you talking about? We put our money into this shit and buy this stuff. We deserve more what if mangas, man. We deserve some more stuff like that. I definitely love the concept that they came up with for the whole Yamcha stuff. Was Yamcha the right person to start off with? Who knows? He is a popular meme, so that's a thing. So, it was cool to start off with him. But, also, just... I know this is getting a bit off topic, but if you just move away from the what if and just kind of go with the whole manga scenario, I would love to get a manga maybe once a week, or maybe just a few, but once a week during the Universal Survival Tournament arc, where these new characters that we're getting, it would be cool to get backstories on them. So we see them introduced, I don't know, I'm gonna make up a name, Josh. We see Josh introduced and
fucking Josh,
and he's Goku's opponent. Then you have a manga come out that maybe Monday, when, I don't know, they'll schedule it, they'll do that shit, they'll market it. You have it come out that Monday, and then it tells us who Josh is, it tells us why he's in the tournament, it tells us why so-and-so picked him, blah, blah, blah. The same happens with Vegeta. When Vegeta takes on Adam, you have... Why am I coming up with these names? When you see Vegeta take on Adam, then the manga correlates and it tells us who Adam is. I think that would be a cool idea. Other places do that. I think Star Wars did that a while. They do character backgrounds on stuff. So I think it would be cool to introduce that. But moving back to the what if manga, yeah, I would love more what if scenarios. And I just feel like the Dragon Room and the Shueisha could really flood the market and flood the Dragon Ball community with more content of just manga in general, and also what if scenarios.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think that especially in Japan right now, with a lot of the popular manga coming to an end. Of course, Naruto's been ended for quite a while. Supposedly, Fairy Tail is going to end very soon, and just the room is just open for more manga to really take the reins and become popular and outsell.
I agree.
Outsell the older things which are kind of getting a bit dry, such as Fairy Tail, which I don't like. But the point being, look, Shueisha have made a Dragon Ball room. They want to expand now by hiring Toyotaro, who made his name by writing Dragon Ball AF. He had background. He had this fan theory, that what if side to him, and of course the author whose name escapes me. He wrote the Yamcha manga, but once again, he was a fan art writer fella guy. I don't know what the correct term is. It was a fan manga essentially. So why wouldn't Toei kind of tap up these talents? They're very talented people, and when they
oh my god, his art resembled Toriyama so much. The way he drew Yamcha. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I get wet over stuff like that. I'm sorry. But
you know what, MJ? While you dry up, I'm gonna finish off my point because the point being, look, utilize the creativity that you've hired these artists, you've hired these manga writers, these mangaka, and you know what? Give them a side project. Let them write these what if scenarios, and that's how you can really progress the brand of Dragon Ball and really catch up with the times and be more what's the word relevant in every single department.
I completely agree. But we'll move on. So Dragon Ball, the next one is Dragon Ball Heroes 3 on the DS. Now they already have a Dragon Ball Heroes, they have a Dragon Ball Heroes 2. I have personally played the Dragon Ball Heroes 2 on the DS, and I gotta admit, I know a lot of people like flaunt it over, Fusions is so fun, and it is. But there's something like kind of great nostalgia. It's basically playing Dokkan Battle without having to buy the stones and get it. It's like a lot more random. You get a lot of characters. There's a lot of what if stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that you can explore and just playing through the story. But it's so annoying to play the game on a Japanese DS, not knowing what they're saying or really how to play the game and everything. And it gets frustrating. And the one thing, Dragon Ball is popular, and I hope Dragon Ball Super coming on Toonami and showing just how popular Dragon Ball can be in the United States and everything convinces them to not only update us on another Dragon Ball Heroes game for the DS, a third one to complete the trilogy, but they also decide to port it over like they did Fusions. Now that is a huge effort. There's a lot of text to translate and everything else, but I think with the success of Dokkan Battle on freemium gaming, the people who don't want to pay for Dokkan will flock to this game because it's on the go in the same format. It's just as fun and everything else. I think this is something we deserve. I think this is something that could really sell well in the United States or just worldwide, if anything like that. But MJ, do you have any thoughts on this? I know you didn't really have any thoughts on the Dokkan thing, but what about Heroes?
With Heroes, it's funny because I actually like a lot of Heroes content. I keep telling Geekdom to do more Heroes stuff. I like a lot of their what if scenarios. I like a lot of the plots that they're being introduced. You're right, I have not played Dokkan, never even touched it. I have never played Heroes either, but I always watch a lot of the Heroes openings, so I would hope that the games would get crossed over to here because I just feel like it would be, when you look at the success of Xenoverse and you see how Xenoverse actually takes some plot points from Heroes, and introduce it into their games, it would be fun for them to introduce it over here, and it would be fun for the US to get it. I mean, when you think about it, the US does kind of miss out on a lot of Dragon Ball content in some cases, in some scenarios, so it would be cool to get that over here.
As the forgotten child of the UK, I do want to say that, we miss out on quite a few things as well, but to be honest, I have no interest in Heroes, so I'm going to have MJ's previous stance as I don't care.
You don't care. No, but I definitely think Heroes would be an amazing addition to whatever kind of library of video games that we get from in any domestic sense outside of Japan. Something I feel like they've made a massive mistake not porting over to us because I think it would be something that would sell very well. But
I agree.
In the same sense, we'll just move on. Another thing.
I'm sorry.
No. So, we'll.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. We're gonna move on to the next one we want to see, guys, and this is something I've been really kind of mad about recently. You have to look when you're in anywhere, like going to Japan was a little different. There you have anime stuff everywhere. It's just widely accepted. It's a major form of entertainment. Not so much in the US and other places around the world. It's kind of a little bit more segmented. You can't necessarily go into any general store and buy anything anime related. Now, that's not to say you can't find Pokemon cards in other places, but it's kind of off in the center. It's not really like anything, or Pokemon shirts is kind of off. Kind of like, that's kind of like retro and its own thing or you're a really small kid. I want the success of Dragon Ball going forward, especially domestically, to give us Dragon Ball swag here in the United States. Not so much where you have to go out of your way to go to basically an anime store on the other side of town or in another part of the state or something like I recently did when I was just vacationing. So I definitely would like to see Dragon Ball make a big comeback where, you see, like you did in the old days where you had Dragon Ball action figures around. Personally, not the ones with Frieza and his machine gun for whatever reason, but I digress. Anyway, guys, like, is there anything else y'all would want to see? I'm really into the figurine type of things, if we could start seeing those on store shelves.
See, I think personally, in terms of swag and clothing, it's going to make a comeback. I'll let MJ carry on this point because of the fact that he is a big wrestling fan. And we know that Dragon Ball is kind of still popular in just worldwide in general. We see in wrestling, in WrestleMania, we saw the New Day wearing Saiyan outfits. We see Ronda Rousey wearing a over 9,000. So when it does come out, hopefully, the English dub and becomes popular again, and you have these very popular, even if it is unofficial and they make it official later on, and you see celebrities wearing these t-shirts or merchandise, just whatever, it becomes popular and people then want to buy it. And MJ, do you want to tell them how popular it is in the wrestling community before I go into my Monopoly?
It's very popular. It's very popular.
Thank you. Thank you for that point, because I don't know what I was thinking about. What I want to see is, with Yu-Gi-Oh, we see a version called of Monopoly, an edition for Yu-Gi-Oh. Why can't we see one with Dragon Ball with landmarks such as Corin's Tower, the Lookout? We have
that would be cool.
We have Kame House. So the four: Corin's Tower, the Lookout, Kame House. Can you think of another one? Kinkai's Planet. Bang. And then for May, you'll have it.
Oh, no. Like the railroads can be the Kai planets.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Perfect.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Perfect. Yeah. And then just like that, you could have a game which everyone would play, and it would be a nice little addition.
And Jail could be the Z Sword.
Oh, wow.
Or the Dead Zone. No, it's Dead Zone.
Dead Zone, but then
and then free parking could be like the Mystic Water or whatever. Like I don't know.
Mark, you're getting too excited. This is just a
oh my god, this is another video. Like this is something designed. This is a Kickstarter type of thing. Anyway, I'm sorry.
We shall speak to Kanji about this.
Anyway, no, like I completely agree with that. Like that would be really cool. I think I would have to buy that.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Anything else y'all can think of? What other like Dragon Ball swag would y'all like to see that's not necessarily?
I want to drive up to a KFC and see Goku, there with the whole...
They did that. You remember that? Like, MJ, you remember that when Burger King had action figures? Like when Dragon Ball was that popular and Burger King had Dragon Ball action figures.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, I think people are underestimating just how popular Dragon Ball really is. And once Super starts... And once the dub starts, because there's a lot of people, I know a lot of people, and I can count, I don't know, I meant to say I can't count them, that's how many people I know that have not watched Super yet and are waiting for the dub, and I mean, I get why, and I feel like once it hits, and we start getting to the moments of like Goku versus Hid, and like Vegeta versus Kaba and stuff, it's going to be pretty darn popular, and I would not be surprised if we started seeing action figures for their freaking Whoppers and Big Macs and stuff popping out. Like I would not, well, no, not Big Macs, Kid Meals. What am I talking about here? It's popular. It'll get popular. Okay, I'm thinking about food now.
Oh man, I'm thinking about food. I haven't eaten either. That's something I would want to see too. Like that, if it can become that mainstream again, that would be pretty cool. Just seeing that the love is still there,
and it can, because like Dimzy brought up Ronda Rousey wearing a over 9,000 t-shirt in a stadium of like what was it, like 80,000 screaming fans, and then you had the New Day at a 100,000 stadium show up as Saiyans, like it's mainstream. It really is. It still is mainstream, and once Super starts, I feel like it'll get even popular, and I'm pretty sure, Mark, you'll get your wish. We'll get some action figures with our kids' meals, okay? We'll get them.
They're gonna feel weird. Like I'm gonna go like Burger King, ask for a Big Mac, and still ask for the toy. It's like, can I please just get the toy?
Man, that's gonna be some weird shit, because you're gonna go order a kid meal for your kid, and they're gonna give you Hit, but Hit looks like a dick, so it's.
You order it for your bae. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so guys, moving forward, I this is something that I really kind of want going forward. It's something I've covered in my own personal channel a couple times. It's something I would really like to see. I have my own opinions on it. I'll actually put it in the description below if you want to see my opinion on what a spin-off or sequel to Dragon Ball Super is, because Dragon Ball Super is so big right now, and we're talking about, you know, what ifs, and MJ was bringing up, you know, he wants to see comics being released every week that would kind of explain who this person is, you know, who Josh or Adam are going forward. And I think that one thing I would really like to see is Dragon Ball have the balls to, instead of giving us, you know, every month giving us some kind of what if that doesn't matter, skip into the future and focus on characters who are grown up that are different and kind of their own person, because we can get a little bit, it's so mainstream, it's so popular now that we can actually have stories going on, like what are Goten and Trunks doing when they're older, what is Vegeta doing when he's older, what is everyone else doing when they're older, what does Oob do when he's older. There's so many questions. Or, you know, what is Kaba doing, or Hit, what is Hit's story? And there's just so many things that you can kind of have a own little spin-off that won't necessarily mess up the trajectory of where Super's going, just because Super's focus is Goku or Vegeta. I think would give us something huge to talk about, even if it was like a manga that came out every month or every 2 months or something. That would be huge. So MJ, what are your thoughts on that? Would you want to see some kind of a spin-off or sequel series be announced or even brought to the forefront in 2017?
I would love if they actually did some like spin-off series and like anime format, because let me paint a picture for you. Goku Black, you can hate that Future Trunks arc as much as you want. It was popular, ratings were high. I mean, Ethan was telling me every one of his reviews was popping, everybody was popping, everybody was hyped. That arc was so hype, and every episode each week was so hype. Like, it would be cool to actually kind of like, you know, again, capitalize on this, Toei making some money, to capitalize on this, do a little like spin-off series, a one season or a one arc, maybe 12 episodes, like how most animes are nowadays, where they're just 12 episodes, you know, like My Hero Academia, One Punch Man, dude, where it's just 12 episodes, and those 12 episodes, they tell the story of Goku Black from when he kills Gawasu. Like, started off the same way with like Gawasu and Zamasu and them, then he kills Gawasu. Then it shows how he meets future Zamasu, and then it shows how he destroys planets, and then how it shows how he takes out every single Kaioshin. We get some awesome fights with him going up against all the Universe 12 Kaioshin, and then the end of the series ends with him landing on Earth and like kind of like about to, and then that's where, of course, where the Future Trunks arc picks up. I think that would be cool to get like prequels, to get sequels, get like Goku Black's rise to power, because we'll get his rise, like his plan, him plotting the whole Zero Mortals plan, and then of course that fits in with the continuity of the Future Trunks arc, where we see him become what he was meant to be, the one god, the whole kami set. So that would be kind of cool to get that, prequels that lead into what we already got, like Star Wars type stuff. We'd also get like some sequels as well, and like you mentioned just a minute ago, the whole Kaba and Frost stuff. It would be cool to get like a Frost like on the run, like Frost is like running from the cops and like doing this like a comedic sense of just him doing that. That would be kind of cool, and like Kaba's like chasing him, so we get like some Lethal Weapon stuff, like some comedic action there with like Kaba like, we got him on 004 Planet 2017, and Frost is like, oh shit, we gotta split. So like Ross and his gang of people just, you know, leave. I think that'd be kind of cool to get some stuff like that. But also manga as well. I would love manga spin-off series as well with the same concept, just either prequels or just spin-offs and them telling us, or like in their own universe, you know, whatever it is, you know what I mean? They could do, I mean, would y'all guys be opposed to seeing like some spin-off where maybe like Goku like maybe never met Bulma? I don't know. They could do some crazy shit.
Yeah, like Dragon Ball, Goku, like we'll do that. We'll do that at some point. The what if, like 10 what ifs we won or whatever. You know, like that's a whole nother video in itself. Yeah. But Dimzy, what about you, man?
No, I'll just probably echo what MJ said. I really dig the idea of him, of the whole Goku Black going, you know, from God of Destruction to God of Destruction, destroying every single one of them, and destroying the Kaioshin then, of course. And by that time, we're going to be introduced to all of these new Kaioshin, these new God of Destructions. And secondly, the universe, the scope, the whole world that we've been introduced to for Dragon Ball is so big they can do this. I would have personally done something like Adventures of Beerus and Whis before, let's say, whilst Rokaioshin, whilst the Elder Kai was still the Supreme Kai, and you could just play with that. It's very similar to what I remember of the Marvel cartoon of the Silver Surfer, where we were introduced to him and Galactus in Fantastic Four, and then they went and had their own little adventures, but because they were so far away, it didn't affect the continuity, just, the events of Earth to what we know. Or maybe I'm getting it wrong in terms of what was first and what was last, but the point is, they could do a very far away story in the same time, if anything, even if you really wanted to, in the same time, or impinged within the arc itself, such as MJ's suggestion for Goku Black, and it just really would work. And I just want the anime one. I don't want a manga spin-off. I want an anime version, make it 12 episodes, very similar to Fairy Tail Zero, which told the origins of Mavis and, how she brought about the guild. So something similar to that. Yeah, you just do it.
Also, plus 12 episodes, like every other season. I mean, it would have godly animation. It would be similar to what that ROF special was with Goku Black and the Frieza versus Goku Remastered. I mean, it would just be cool to get stuff like that,
And I'll throw it out there. One thing MJ and I have talked about in this, it would be really cool to see a 12 episode arc or less, 8, 10, whatever they wanted to do of Hit's origins. I'm sure MJ and I have similar opinions.
I have
about
a whole
that,
script of that shit.
Yeah. So we'll just move on. But that's something, guys. Definitely share opinions on that, because I think that's one of the ones that's super high up there in terms of, this is in no order, but that one probably number one for me. Next one, guys, we saw this back in the day when Dragon Ball Super was at its peak in Japan. MJ mentioned, and they did do this. They started releasing movies every 2 every year until they got 13 during the run of Dragon Ball Z on television, and that's something we really kind of want back. I know it was really kind of hard for them to produce that much going forward or during all that, but with the advancement in technology and the way they animate this stuff now, it doesn't have to be 2 a year, but if we could start getting an announcement or something that they're going to try to start doing 1 40-minute, 45-minute, an hour-long episode, basically, movie that doesn't necessarily fit into the canon of Super or Dragon Ball Z, and give us new movies, new material that, like they used to, I think that would be super exciting for all their fans. So, MJ, what are your thoughts on this, man?
I completely agree. For those who don't know, back in the day, they used to do a movie every spring and I believe in the summer, and that's, those were I guess what you would call the original 13. You had Garlic Jr. up until movie 13 with Hirugan and Tapion, so I think it would be cool if we got something similar to that. You are right, it doesn't have to be 2 a year, and I say this because Toei's schedule is still hectic. Guys, make sure you go check out Anime AJ. He always does animation roundups. If you're into that type of stuff, make sure you go check him out. Check out World King Kanji as well. He also does some stuff about that as well. Toei's schedule is still pretty hectic, so I would still just recommend having one movie a year. And you are right, Mark, it doesn't have to fit into the continuity with Super. It can just be a movie that takes place in an alternate universe, alternate timeline, whatever they are, side story, and or a continuation story. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. I think it would just be cool because, like I said before, I think there's room for it. The community is alive. Dragon Ball is still popular. And I think just throwing in one movie a year, just one out of those 12 months, I think it would really help, and it would be kind of cool, and Toei will obviously make the money back. You know what I mean? So I would love that,
If they really want to be a bit stingy, they could also do it once every 2 years, because we know that a theatrical release of anything Dragon Ball related would be insanely successful. Look at One Piece with the upcoming film Gold. Everyone is so hyped for that, and that comes out, every couple of years, or is it every year? I'm not completely sure, but the point being, every couple of years or every single year, a theatrical release of Dragon Ball will do wonders. It will absolutely do wonders. And if you can make it a global release as well, even if you keep it a little bit localized and just say, you know what, just keep it in Japan, it will make its money back because of how popular it is. And that's the reason why they should kind of capitalize on, and a movie release would just do wonders for the franchise, just transcend it even more.
I agree. We'll move on. I feel like this one is a little bit more on y'all's plate than mine. Not something I've always liked, but Dragon Ball or Japan in general have done these crossovers. And not that crossovers are, I guess, unique to Japan. We do them all the time in television. In fact, for anyone who doesn't know, what's the kid's name? This is way off topic, but what's the kid's name from Saint Elsewhere?
Kevin.
Do y'all know this? What?
Kevin from Home Alone, right?
No.
Oh,
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. No.
know what you guys are
Saint
talking
Elsewhere
about.
is a television. It's like a something Warhol universe. Basically, in terms of crossovers, and that's what it is, guys. That's what it is. We want Dragon Ball Super to have a crossover with another major anime like One Piece or anything else that's on right now. I know the industry's in a huge fluctuation, but that's something. But I just want to go back to this real point. Crossovers are not unique to Japan. They do them all the time and everything else. But the difference is, the weird thing about Japanese crossovers, especially the ones I've seen in anime, is they don't even try to make them make sense. They're more like special issues where they, like, several characters get together and they fight and you get to see who wins or something. And it's not that we haven't done that before, but they try to make it make sense here when they do it with our television shows. And what I was saying earlier is there's a theory, and I expect y'all should go look this up because it's insane. But with the way crossovers work in America, apparently, basically, like, all television and movies take place in like one autistic boy's head if you use crossovers literally. Between television shows and everything else. It's really interesting. I'll link it in the description below. But anyway, guys, like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, in terms of One Piece or any other things that you want to see, what are the benefits of doing that? Dimzy, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's only going to do wonders, and I think they could kind of replace one of the transitional arcs or a few episodes, even if it's one or two, and do a little mini arc and do a little crossover in that sense. They've done it with One Piece, Dragon Ball, and Toriko, where they fought and they got a big meal at the end. And I know you don't need to have a significant or a story which kind of needs tension. It doesn't need to make sense, as you said. It will do really good, and especially now because One Piece and Dragon Ball are extremely popular, and also One Piece nearing the, I can't even say nearing the tail end of his lifespan. It's gonna go on for another 100 years. Point being, it'll work. Dragon Ball has reclaimed its spot as being very popular in Japan, so it having a crossover would do very, very good, and just do good for anime in general. And it's just a nice sentiment. It's just nice to watch. And if it replaces a little transitional episode of, let's say, I don't know, the Potafu arc, I'm sure no one would complain. So a TV crossover is always gonna unite or kind of cause more division amongst two fandoms, but of course only silly people will argue over that. But people who majority love it, absolutely adore it.
Mm-hmm. MJ?
I agree with Dimzy.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Honestly, guys, there's not much to talk about with this. We don't know exactly how that would be structured at all. So
I mean, I would just like to say that I would really enjoy it because I did like the Toriko, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z collaboration special that they had. I believe that was back in Dimzy, 2013, right?
Something along the lines of after
yeah.
the Yosan Goku special.
Yeah.
Of course, Toriko was on. It's cancelled now.
yeah.
It would be cool if we got something along those lines because I thought it was man, it was so cool. If you guys know, I'm sure Dimzy knows, but real to real, One Piece is known for having very voluptuous characters. The women are very filled out, and it was almost like I popped, like I marked out when Roshi hit on one of the One Piece women in that special. I was like, yes, I've been waiting for something like those lines. It was just so funny to me and so cool. So it's just little moments like that I would care, like to see these little character interactions, you know what I mean? So it would be cool to get something along those lines. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's called the Dream 9 Toriko, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z collaboration special. So make sure you go check that out. It's a 2-part thing. I think it's like 45 minutes. But if you're a fan of One Piece or Toriko, you're going to love the character interactions in that. It was amazing. But anyways, I would just love to see something along those lines. I know... you guys are bringing up off air how Naruto kind of finished and like Boruto's coming out. I don't know when the date it is, but it's coming soon. I'm assuming.
April, I believe.
April, but Naruto ended so far, and the manga has been done for a while, so who knows, but there still is room for One Piece and a Dragon Ball collaboration, because this isn't the first time that Toriko, they collabed before, right, Dimzy? On other stuff, so
I don't think if Dragon Ball was involved, I'm not completely sure.
okay.
I'm pretty sure One Piece is already, before that, One Piece had already combined with Dragon Ball.
I don't think it was a special, it was like a commercial, wasn't it? Because I remember...
it was long, dude. Like, it was long.
Long?
It was live action, and it was like 30-40 minutes.
Okay, because I remember something where like Piccolo and like Zoro are together, and Krillin or Luffy are something like.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's like it's live action, and like a monster is blowing up Toei Japan, like their headquarters.
Okay, yeah,
it's crazy.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah,
but that's one thing. It needs to be under the umbrella of Toei, so of course you can't have something like Dragon Ball Super and Dexter's Laboratory crossover. I don't know. Bleach is dead, but
I know Bleach is dead, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of, I don't think Toei made Bleach. But okay, but I agree. Like that, just to me, like it's something to kind of. It would be something really smart for Toei to do going forward, just because they know they have Dragon Ball actually like skyrocketing on their own charts, and One Piece is always going to be stable, at least for the foreseeable future. And just putting them together, even just those two, is something that would make them a lot of money, something that people would want to see, especially now that Dragon Ball has become such a big thing again. So it's not like it was back in 2013, but going back and actually adding on to this a little bit in terms of out-of-universe stuff, but the very last one I want to talk about is TV specials. TV specials. In fact, especially for us English, English-speaking countries, and just in terms of bringing back Dragon Ball Super and bringing back Dragon Ball Super, especially on a Blu-ray and DVD basis, and all this other domesticated stuff. One thing they need to do, I think one thing that we deserve, is that they need to dub Yosun Goku and his friends return. I feel like it actually is kind of a huge shame that we haven't gotten that released in any way, shape, or form. And it's not that it's short; it's a really heartfelt story. I actually think it's one of the better things released in Dragon Ball in the last couple of years, and that's saying something considering everything we've talked about here. So, but going back and saying what MJ was talking about with like little specials, like I would love to see a special about Hit or Kaba or any of the other people who are important in the Universal Survival arc, or maybe even like the whole Goku Black thing. That could be a special other than like a series, and it would work. And like Dimzy said before, it could replace something like the Pofafu. I can't say it.
Potafu arc, bro.
Follow my lead.
Pofafu.
Potafu. Potafu.
But like I definitely think that MJ, what are your thoughts on that, man?
I completely agree with you on that.
All right.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see some specials. I would definitely love to see some specials about like Hit and Kaba, especially Hit, because I think a lot of people underrate him as a character. He is very what's the word, Mark? Would it be eccentric? I'm just kidding. But I just think he has like a background for a ton of stories. Like his whole background can like flood the community, because you're talking about a guy who's been alive for 1,000 years. The type of content you can make with that, the techniques he has, the type of content you can make with that. It's like he's an assassin. The type of content you can make with that, like the stories that you can create off this guy. Very underrated, and I would love to see any form of special. And for those who don't know, specials are similar to like the whole History of Trunks special and the Bardock special. So it'll be cool to get some stuff like that, get it aired on TV, get just some form of anything like that on there. Because again, I think I've said this and over again in this 30-minute video, that there's room for more Dragon Ball content. We want Dragon Ball, so give us some more Dragon Ball content. You know what I'm saying? Just give us some more Dragon Ball content. That's all we want. That's what this list is about. We just want Dragon Ball, man. We want more Dragon Ball. And a TV special, I would love that. Give us one every 6 months. Yeah.
Dipsy?
I agree with MJ that we want more Dragon Ball. Come on, man. Just fill it in, man. We want more
Dragon Ball.
You want Dragon Ball? What the fuck was that?
We get possessed at these times.
But no, I completely agree, man. It's something that I feel like we need in terms of a community. Any of these things on this list. But before we go, I want to kind of open up the floor. Anything we didn't cover that y'all would really like to see going forward for the Dragon Ball community? It doesn't necessarily need to be in universe or out of universe related. Just something as a fan base we would just be overly joyed to see going forward.
I'll say that I would want more Japanese voice actors for Dragon Ball to visit the conventions. I know Ryo Horikawa did visit the Comic-Con, I believe. Was it Comic-Con? Yeah. In America, but just more international conventions and a more bigger presence. I know, Masako Nozawa is quite old. She's quite elderly, and of course you don't want to put stress on them. But it would be nice. It would be nice to have more characters, more voice actors to kind of interact with their English counterparts, especially now that the English dub has been confirmed. Heck, even if they're interacting with the Bang Zoom dub, or even the Spanish or the one in Latin America, Israeli one, all these other dubs, I just want an ensemble of all of them, and just them interacting would be quite nice, and it would be a really good testament to the fandom to show that, hey, you know what, this really is an international fandom and we can come together and just say we want more Dragon Ball.
MJ?
I agree with Dimzy, but you know what we should also want to see in Dragon Ball, right?
What's that?
Is Bra. She should be born by now. Let's see her in Dragon Ball Super pretty soon. Why am I talking
Mike.
like this?
Okay, Mike from Laughing Stock Media. But no, I completely agree with you. I feel like Brawl definitely needs to be in Super. It's ridiculous at this point. It's obviously they forgot her. But also, Dimzy, I agree with you too. It's an international fan base. It's really nice when we could see the voice actors come together and kind of the unity between them, and the whole fact that this is actually a global phenomenon of a series that's lasted 30 years, kind of in the same vein as Star Wars and all that stuff. I mean, it's not necessarily Star Wars, but hell, if it isn't popular like Star Wars or has a fan base or very dedicated fans. So something that we'd like to see going forward.
But dare I say it, is it time for the next live action movie to be at least announced in 2017? Because we've seen hear me out. We've seen them announce stuff for, I'm not saying in America or Hollywood, I'm saying even if Japan do it and they have the complete control. Because look, we've seen them do one for, is it for Naruto? I know they've done one for Attack on Titan, and they're doing one for Fullmetal Alchemist. So it could be time.
Lionsgate's making the Naruto one.
Yeah, that's it.
It's going to be American made.
So the time could be right maybe to make a Dragon Ball live action movie. They don't need to do Dragon Ball Super nor Dragon Ball Z. Do even Dragon Ball. I know you have your thoughts regarding at which time placement, but I do think that it could happen.
Yeah, and personally, I feel like that's a good idea. You got to strike when the iron's hot. If they're gonna do it, they should do it now, and get it out within a year so people are still excited about it and not, 8 years later when it's too late. So
I'm gonna make a bold statement. You heard it here first.
Dinner's ready.
I heard it. Dinner's ready.
What was that? This is my dad. Anyways, you heard it here first. Live action movie will be announced December 2017. Dragon Ball. I am not kidding.
No, give us the date. Give us the date.
Why was there no pop for that?
No pop. No, like that. Like that would look, dude. If you called that, you heard it here first. We're recording this on the 3rd of January, 2017. If a live action movie is announced at any time, honestly, this year, I will lose my shit. I think a lot of people will, both with hate and good fortune and everything. But man, guys, that's a lot. That's a lot that we are expecting from this series. Going forward.
We have racked up enough minutes to go through all of 2017. So by the time you finish this video, it should be 2018. Yes.
Exactly. This apparently all I release anymore is really, really long videos. But anyway, guys, y'all have anything else y'all want to say? Or start wrapping up here?
Nah.
MJ, we're both in Texas. If you're right about that, I'll buy you dinner.
You better, because I will be right.
Anyway, guys, we're going to catch y'all in the next video. I will put MJ and Dimzy's domain. Their links will be in the description below. Please make sure to go check them out. They make some really awesome content, Dragon Ball related and otherwise. Anyway, guys, we're going to catch y'all in the next video. Please make sure to rate, comment, subscribe this video, share it to your friends. And what do you want to see from Dragon Ball in 2017? What would mark you out the most? I'm Mark. What would mark you out the most? Anyway, it's been a little long.
That was a lame joke, bro. Come on.
That was a really, really, really lame joke.
That was lame, dude. You gotta end it better than that. You better give him a good hashtag to comment down below.
Oh, okay, yeah, hashtag. Oh man, hashtag ASSJF.
What the hell is that?
Ask Jeff. Ask Jeff.
I like the way Dimzy said that. What the hell is that?
Hashtag Krillin' it 2017.
Oh man,
Bye.
dude.